Hey, welcome back. What is happening?
I grew up watching Nickelodeon.
Nick, 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 Nick.
We won't know until we find him. And I will find him. I'm still the heir to the throne. That's gotta mean something. Even in this dustbin corner of the world.
It does. And in this case, it is precisely because we are in a more quiet part of the world that we have an advantage.
This scroll has been passed down among the waterbenders of our tribe for generations. It contains everything you need to know to begin your bending education. You have no idea how hard it's been to keep this from you.
This is
But
her
with the
grandma.
Fire Nation hunting for benders, it was just too dangerous for you to have.
You want to join us, Momo?
Momo?
Yeah. He looks like a Momo, doesn't he? Just like how you look like a Sokka. Can't argue with that.
He's like,
What's a
Bet you
saga?
taste like chicken.
Saga. Ooh.
You wanna ask a Fire Nation commander if they've seen the Avatar? If word gets out, everyone in the world will be looking for him. I could lose everything.
Calm yourself, Prince Zuko. One thing you must learn is how to get what you want without divulging your true intentions.
Check this out.
Sokka, should you just go in there?
no.
But I'm going to anyway.
Hey! If
Oh, yeah,
I
you said
can
the first
learn
five,
to be
right?
the Avatar,
Mm-hmm.
maybe I could bring a place I knew. A world where people were happier back.
Nope. Goodbye.
Some books. It's all about
What do you think about this idea of needing a savior? Right? So this is pretty evident in this show. Like they're like the Avatar, the all powerful kind
Right.
of.
Yeah. I don't remember what the true purpose of the avatar was. Right. Like they tell us like
Except
the
to
avatar is
keep
supposed to bring
balance.
balance. Right.
Right.
But like what does that really what does that mean? Right. Is it
Yeah.
to be the best fighter and like make sure no one fights? Right. Or like is it something else? Like
Right.
that's why am I saying like so much?
And
Disgusting.
well, it happens. Sometimes you just get on a word and just go with it.
um yeah, it's interesting the way that they kind of revere the avatar, especially since it kind of rotates through each nation, right?
hmm
So they have reference both for the avatar in general, but also specifically like when it comes from like their particular region, right? So which they had
Okay,
since
I
they
can
had
see
like
that.
this kind of this monument to Kyoshi,
hmm
since she was kind of seemingly either the last one there or at least a very influential one
Right.
from
hmm
from there since it rotates. Because I mean, I guess you would imagine if someone lives, let's say, typically 60-ish years, right, and it rotates through all four nations, would have
hmm
been a few hundred years since it was last.
Does the Avatar live longer than other?
It doesn't seem like it. That's why I'm saying 60-ish. I mean, I don't know how long
Oh,
these people live. 60, 80, let's say
hmm
100. But
Right. Okay.
several generations of people have come and gone
Right.
since she was alive. But yeah, it's I wonder if the avatar was not meant to be a savior, but more meant to be like an inspiration.
You know,
I mean,
but I.
there's something to be said for how much a nation or even a person focuses on like future danger and war, right?
hmm
Because that there's a cost to that. There's
Right.
mental cost, there's actual costs of maintaining military, all these things, right?
hmm
For this future thing that may or may not happen,
Right.
right? So there's opportunity cost. Like you could live more freely and happier, and then when it happens, deal with it,
hmm
or constantly live at a state of readiness for this thing,
hmm
and so you're kind of more stressed, more spending resources on this military piece instead of, hey, let's have festivals, let's live,
hmm
right? as if, we'll live, it could happen, but probably not gonna happen, so we'll live
Hmm.
this way, right? So, I mean, you can see, I mean, eventually it did happen, so they're kinda flat-footed, but, they
Yeah.
may have had a better quality of life in the meantime
Hmm.
versus kind of being more strict and solemn, being ready for the war,
Right.
I don't know.
Well, I kind of feel like if you know the type of people, I suppose, that you're living around, or just know people in general, I feel like if you're not going to prepare for war, because there's a lot of countries that have really small armies, right? Switzerland being one of them, France being another. Um, I think Sweden doesn't even have an army, if I'm not mistaken, or if they do, it's super super small. But the if you're going to be a country that has like is not going to be focusing on war, which I feel like okay, if that's what you want to do, you want to focus on something else, okay. In that case, you're going to need to make alliances and make sure that those things are strong,
Right.
so that you have some sort of, like in what do you call that, what do you call that, Lord of the Rings, where they were lighting the fires or whatever. Some sort of like signaling system that alerts, all the cities or whatever villages
Right.
around that you all, your benders and stuff need to kind of step in. I feel like if you're a bender, you should just be practicing that anyway, sort of thing. But that's just my thoughts on it. I was frustrated to see how the air nomads just got wiped out, because they were unprepared, even though they knew, and then the Cove as well, and then but then these people right here, they're like, "Nah, come at us," like.
General Iroh, no need to apologize, and please forgive our lapses as well. We don't get many VIP visitors around here, much less the famed Dragon of the West.
As my nephew was saying, we are in search of
He
maps and
just
surveillance
let's
reports.
ignore that.
We're
Yep.
hoping to track schools of jumping shark squids.
I can't imagine what it's like, knowing you'll have to save the world. But avoiding practice doesn't mean you'll avoid the responsibility.
Also true.
I know.
Like when you left last time, everyone
It's
died.
just you have to not to be the one who
Jeez.
sings.
Gotta admit, he has a way with people. He knows how to connect, to get through to people like he did last night. That's his real power. Connection, building bridges.
Oh yeah, there was a
That's how
ball.
he's gonna
Yeah,
defeat
that's
us.
Yeah.
so cool. Oh, and he ran into it as well.
Right.
What?
Wow.
Jeez.
That was pretty good. That was pretty good.
I used to study martial arts.
Get in there and learn something, bro.
I know he needs to. You make those noises. You, you make those noises because it's in you're exhaling
Mm.
to give as much like force as possible. They're not just sounds.
Oh.
Okay.
Mhm.
Um, your mom's there.
The
Mm-mm.
bell.
You hear it too?
We have to go.
He does it so well.
Dude,
I like
what'd you
him.
think that was? He's like, "You here too?"
Yeah. Oh, he's once again not available. You know what? This avatar, slaughter them. Slaughter them all. Oh,
Oh, she slung him across.
she
What?
slung him. Sorry, this is a little bit
One
faster. So
hand.
I was like, oh my God.
You think? I know before we were kind of talking about the different bending powers. Do you think that water benders need to be near water?
Oh, good question. I think if you're more advanced, you can pull water from the air.
Right, would it be enough water? 'Cause, it seems like the firebenders don't need, like they don't need to be near anything specific, right? Or even air. I
No,
mean,
but because
Earth, I mean, they're always near the Earth, so, I mean, if they were in the sky, they'd probably be at a disadvantage,
mhm,
right? But they're always near Earth, so they're okay. But
mhm.
water to me seems like the most conditional in a way, like, if you're not near a bunch of water, I feel like you're at a significant disadvantage, no? Maybe?
I kind of feel like they all have their advantages and disadvantages, right? So, like I said, fire, I feel, is the weakest of all the three elements in terms of it can be extinguished. If you have both benders of the same caliber, right? Whatever element they're using against fire is going to win. It's just maybe a question of like technique and something like that. But again, if they're the same caliber, I don't think fire can't f- defeat water unless it's an oil fire, right? Fire can't defeat earth, like that's it's impossible. Um, excuse me, and wind can spread it like you were saying, but wind can also suffocate fire, right? So it's like too much air will suffocate a fire. So I think in the end of the day, it's it's the weakest element, right? But perhaps you're right. The thing about what's interesting about fire when you were talking about the fact that they were, the water benders are limited to being next to water, is that so your body is producing heat. So I'm assuming this is what they're acting like, this is why you can conjure it kind of out of nothing, is because your body is producing it. So you're really just conjuring it out of your own chi, your own body. Water, you can do that as well. The problem is you only have a limited amount of water in your body, whereas your body is consistently producing heat,
Right, yeah,
right?
because fire just needs to ignite something. It can ignite
Yeah.
air, it can ignite, trees, whatever, but, like, to for water bending, you need to, again, to your point, like, pull water from somewhere,
Right.
not
Or
simply,
yeah.
like, spark something. You need
Right.
to and then control that spark to do whatever you have to, like, pull water from the environment. I mean, I guess you could pull
Or
it from
yourself.
yourself or
Yeah, but
wha
it's
what
gonna die of dehydration. So
what was I watching? It was something I was watching where the person had I think it was on, Gen V, that The Boys
Mhm,
spinoff,
mhm,
where her power is specifically is controlling blood.
mm,
Um,
mhm.
and, you can use that many different ways, right? Whether your own or someone else's inside their body, right? So she's able
Right,
to use that
mhm,
to, like, start someone's heart, but also, essentially explode someone if you
right,
can control their blood.
mhm,
And I've seen, I forget what it was, where someone had control of water and they were able to again use that to control the water inside someone,
mhm.
and
Yeah,
essentially you can kill them that way,
right.
right?
Mhm.
So I don't think we'll ever go that far in this in this show,
Probably not,
right?
but that's definitely a
It's a
possibility,
bit
yeah.
gruesome, right? But if you can really control water, like,
Mhm.
you can essentially just destroy people because people are mostly water. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's interesting that one thing that I think they cut out, maybe we'll see it later, is Sokka ended up, because when I was asking about the armor, he actually ended up wearing and having the makeup on. Like, he actually had the full thing on in the
Oh, I do,
cartoon.
yeah, I remember that,
Yeah,
yeah.
like, he was like, "Oh man." They're like, "Well, that's this if you wanna train, you
Mhm.
gotta put the whole thing on," and I
Yeah.
wonder, who knows why they skipped out on that part, because they
Mhm.
coulda easily had him in the whole garb. It wouldn't
Oh,
have been that difficult
definitely.
when he went to train with her.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, I was wondering if they were gonna do that or not, and,
and then
how
they
that might be.
didn't.
They
No.
didn't, but,
Ah, boo.
speaking of people who did.
Your transitions are legendary.
I was thinking, like, how could I awkwardly transition into thanking our patrons? But, yes, yes, yes. We just like to say a thank you again to our patrons over at patreon.com/unofficially opinionated,
Woo doo woo woo.
especially to our visionary level supporters, babes, babs.
Babs.
Kate and Abby, thank you
Yes.
so much for your support. If you
Mhm.
really enjoy it, share it with a friend. Let them know, hey, we found this awesome YouTube channel where they do reactions and reviews. It's the best. I
Yeah,
mean, you don't
where
gotta say
they
it like that, but you
engage
know what I
us in
mean.
conversation about crazy stuff that has nothing to do with the show.
Man, if you guys are not on the Patreon, you're missing out on a lot of tangential conversations. Now,
Yeah,
just so
you
you
are.
know, coming I'm not gonna say soon, but coming up, we will be bringing back our podcast where that's really all the podcast is
Yeah.
is us on a topic
Yes,
more
it
or less
is.
talking about that ad nauseum. So if you enjoy hearing us talk and discuss things and deep dive into stuff, I think that would be for you.
No one's going to stand in my
But she's
way.
not. You can
You
literally just
wanted
walk
to know
past
about the
her.
power of the Avatar.
True.
I will show you what that power can do.
Okay, this is very different from the cartoon.
Oh, yeah, I don't recall this. Yeah.
I like it though. Oh,
Oh, it's picking stuff up. She
she
about to
grabbed them
toast
with
them?
water, and then she's gonna burn them and hit them with
Rocks?
rocks. Yes,
She is doing all the things.
all
Oh.
of the things.
Thank you, Sokka,
For what?
for bringing the world to me.
Nifty trick you pulled back there, channeling Scary Lady. Does this mean we'll be seeing more of her?
Kyoshi said I can only call upon one of the past avatars when I'm in the shrines.
Believe me, there is nothing more important than knowing where to place my loyalties.
Hey, Gramps, his counsel was kind of off. That's how they
To
got
your
into this
supreme
predicament.
eminence.
The Avatar has returned.
Who the heck is that?
That's
What
the
in
Fire
the?
Lord.
Yeah, but what happened to Gramps?
Hmm?
What happened to the guy with the silver beard? I mean, I know it was 100 years ago, but
Yeah, he's dead. What do you want happen to him?
I
You
thought
just said it's been 100 years. He was old back then. That
I
dude
guess
been gone.
I guess I didn't hear my question.
Like, where's the guy that was here 100 years ago? Where's that guy?
I forgot it was 100 years until I
Yeah,
said it. Then I
he
was like,
was
oh
old.
yeah.
All right. We'll see y'all later. Thanks.
Ciao.